A New York Knicks signing is imminent as a report from New York Knicks insider Ian Begley has revealed the team's plans, and we are going to break this down as a signing is coming in just 3 days with the player that many Knicks fans have been waiting for to sign. Meanwhile, this will have an implication on the New York Knicks bench rotation, and we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, if you're having fun watching these videos and are part of that 69%, make sure to subscribe to Knicks Digest. This is the place to be for all Knicks content. But let's jump into the video here. We're here to talk about basketball. Leon Rose and the New York Knicks are gearing up to make a move as well. In 3 days from now, they will be allowed to make a signing to their prorated veteran minimum salary, and there has been a bunch of different names that have popped up over this span. There's been the Lonnie Walkers before he ended up signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. There's been Chuma Okeke. There's been Victor Oladipo as of recently, which is a pretty surprising one that I don't think many of us saw coming, who now is in play for that role as well. And then on top of all that, the name that we have heard the most, TJ Warren. And TJ Warren might just be the guy who the New York Knicks are getting ready to sign. As it was revealed by Ian Begley, nothing. No, I'm kidding. The New York Knicks can sign a player as early as February 28th since they shed some salary in the Jericho Sims trade. And Begley would say that TJ Warren is most likely the player to be added here. He impressed the Knicks during training camp and has garnered respect from Tom Thibodeau and others with his play with the Westchester Knicks this season, as he's been a leader for the Westchester Knicks, and on top of that, has just been the best player on the team. And on top of that, Tom Thibodeau said 2 weeks ago, I have a lot of respect for what he's doing, meaning TJ Warren. He's had a terrific year, and he's been great down there. For our young guys to watch somebody like that who loves the game, great teammate, and obviously he's been terrific on the floor, which is very true. TJ Warren just recently had another awesome game with the Westchester Knicks, putting up 31 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, while shooting 50% from three-point range, balling out over the Bluecoats. The man has just been so good in the G League. He's the one who deserves it. He signed with the Knicks on that Exhibit 9 contract, got waived, ended up on the Knicks G League, and hasn't taken one contract in all this time. And that's probably because the Knicks told him fairly recently, you're our guy. We're calling you up. All the work you've done, you are going to be a New York Knick. Just wait until we can afford you, and we will sign you. Now, obviously, if a while back, earlier on in the year, a team offered him a contract, then he probably would have taken it instead of waiting till the end of February. However, now where we're at, I would have a feeling that teams have talked to TJ Warren, but he said, nope, on February 28th/March 1st, I am signing with the New York Knicks. That would be what I'd assume, and Tibbs is right. TJ Warren has been balling out in the NBA G League. I mean, 25 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, while also having a 13.6 player impact, which is also really basically just PER. And the G League, I don't know why it's different. It's PER. But look, 6'8". The Knicks need a 6'8" scorer. TJ Warren gets that done. He's been a solid defender throughout his career as well. He's not like an elite defender by any means, but he's been a solid defender throughout his career. He's a big body. You can't really get past him because he's a pretty good athlete as well. So Warren does add a lot of good to this New York Knicks team that could very well use a player like TJ Warren. Now, look, it's going to have an impact on their bench for sure, because you look at the New York Knicks bench, they don't have a guy like this. They don't have a 6'8" scorer who's really a small forward who could also play power forward like that. They do have a 6'8" forward/big man in Precious Achiuwa, but that's not exactly the same thing. Also, Precious has gotten some hate from fans recently as well, who are getting sick of the way that he plays. I think Precious is a great defender. I just think that the Knicks need more scoring, and it'll make his life easier. Also, the Knicks have done a bit weird spacing. Tom Thibodeau has been kind of giving an odd spacing to all this, but Thibodeau, we know this about the Knicks bench and why he's not playing it very often. He doesn't trust them. The Knicks bench is not very good. It's not bad. It's just not very good. The Knicks in previous years have had excellent benches, and now after these 2-for-1 trades, like trading RJ and IQ for OG, which was a good trade, that weakened the bench a bit. And then they made those trades for Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, and that strengthened the bench again. And then Alec Burks goes to the Heat, and Bojan Bogdanovic gets traded to the Nets in the Mikal Bridges trade. And then Dante DiVincenzo, who appears to be the sixth man for the Knicks, gets traded with Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns, and it just really wrecked the bench to where there wasn't a clear number one option coming off the New York Knicks bench, and that led to a lot of issues for this team that has led to Tom Thibodeau playing the starters an insanely high amount of minutes. And look, he shouldn't be doing that. But the reasoning is because the Knicks need more bench production, and they just don't trust they can get it. Now, they have to stagger the minutes better. For instance, playing Mikal Bridges was the bench unit would make more sense, like taking him out, being the first starter to come out of the game. Then he comes back in and leads the bench unit as the number one option off the bench, cooking opposing teams' bench players as well, which we all know Mikal Bridges can absolutely do. He's a wonder in the mid-range, and when they let him just create his own shots, he does get very, very helpful and very good. He's a lot better that way. So I do think that makes more sense for everyone involved. So hopefully the Knicks will do that as well, but also bringing in TJ Warren could help. I mean, it's a question on if he's going to get minutes. I understand that, but Tom Thibodeau's a big fan of him, and I believe that he's a better fit than most guys on the New York Knicks bench who's around this size. Now, he will have to compete for minutes with a few different names, and I think we highlighted the three guys who most fit the same role that TJ Warren is about to play for the Knicks, with Precious Achiuwa being the team's power forward, especially with Mitchell Robinson expected to be back tomorrow from an injury. Precious is putting up 7 points and 6 rebounds per game with 1 assist and 1 steal per game, is no longer going to be the backup center for the Knicks. Now, could he be the backup power forward? Very likely so. That wouldn't be surprising at all, but his minutes definitely will go down with the return of the block nest monster and Mitchell Robinson. Precious is shooting 53% from the field and also 32% from three on very limited attempts. Like, he's taken like 20-something threes this season, low 20s. So there is that to think about. On top of that, we've also seen a guy like Landry Shamet come into the Knicks, and he hasn't been bad per se. Recently, he's actually been very solid for the Knicks. He's putting up on the season 3.5 points per game with 1 rebound, shooting 46% from the field and 34% from three, and 53% on corner threes, so they are a bit limited. They need him to shoot better from three, or he definitely could lose his spot to TJ Warren, especially considering that Landry's 6'4", and TJ being 6'8" gives them another really big body to work with. So that's also a very likely possibility, at least from my perspective. I would not be surprised to see the New York Knicks decide to go in that direction as well. So that's kind of what I expect out of the New York Knicks. On top of that, also Pacome Dadier, who hasn't really gotten real minutes with the Knicks this season, while putting up 2 points per game and 1 rebound, also shooting 33% from the field and 35% from three. He's still 19. He's been playing very inconsistently. Was also dealing with a toe injury for a while. So there's just a lot of reasons to believe why Pacome definitely will not be getting those minutes. So that does leave TJ Warren as the guy. I'd rather TJ Warren play over Landry Shamet as of right now. I know Shamet's playing well, so maybe you leave Shamet in there for a bit. Maybe you take Achiuwa out of the rotation for a few games, but the Knicks should experiment with some ways to try to find a good spot for TJ Warren, because there's a lot of different roles that he could play with the team that would be very helpful. I mean, he's a career 14-point-per-game scorer while also putting up 4 rebounds and 1 assist per game while shooting 50% from the field and 35% from three over his career with a 16.4 PER. And between 2016-17 season and the 2019-20 season, he was a very, very solid player, averaging 18 points per game with 5 rebounds and 1 assist. He was shooting well. I mean, shooting over 50% from the field as well, which is super, super good, and then 36% from three. The man gave 3-level scoring to teams that desperately needed it, mainly the Phoenix Suns, but also a year at the Indiana Pacers that ended in that bubble season for him. And then he played 4 games before going down with the torn ACL, and since that torn ACL, his numbers did take a big dip. Now, over that time, which is, he's only played 53 games since coming back from that torn ACL, some with the Nets, some with the Suns, and then 11 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's averaged 7 points per game, a little under 7 points per game, with 3 rebounds and 1 assist per game. His shooting numbers also went down, and given it was more limited increments for him, but he was shooting 48% from the field and 30% from three. So the Knicks are hoping to get some form of this guy back, but it's a question on if he can. But for the first time in his career, or not the first time in his career, but for the first time in a long time, what we're seeing, not Landry Shamet, not Tom Thibodeau, we're seeing TJ Warren play really consistent minutes again, and playing these consistent minutes for this entire season on the Westchester Knicks definitely will have helped his confidence and his confidence in his ability to stay healthy as well, which has always been something that's kind of bugged TJ Warren, but he's been healthy all season long with the Westchester Knicks, so it would make a ton of sense if he could just really play with confidence and avoid injury with the New York Knicks as well. And we could see the best version. I think we would see the best version of TJ Warren since that torn ACL. But I do want to know what you guys think on all of this. Would you rather Landry Shamet still be in the rotation? Because he is playing well as of recent. I mean, he should have played more minutes against the Boston Celtics. Will Tom Thibodeau even consider playing TJ Warren? I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments. I'll be sure to get back to them. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.